arms, bollocks, and tires rough. Fill your hearts with courage and storm these walls.
Oh, well, quick little speech and it's over. I don't know what causes them to end the speech early. It always makes me sad. I love it. Egypt is immediately starting to double fire. It looks like he's aiming into those Hastati. He also has an artillery over here, which is auto-firing. Basically, our main strategy is to open as wide of a hole as possible for the cavalry to start flowing on in. And of course, we also have another strategy to open a hole with my ballista right here. That way, we actually have one that, while they're trying to board up against the big hole, we can sneak in behind them. Of course, we're definitely not scared of any sally out, because anyone mad enough to sally out against two nomad factions, oh, they're insane. But looks like auto fire on his archers right now. They are wasting a lot of ammo, but some of them are hidden, some of them are not. Over here, it looks like more of them are hitting than not. This one, most of them look like they're missing. Ooh, looks like they're actually getting into the Principes. They are focusing down some of those Principes, and they are targeting that Syrian archer that's in the middle now. We were telling Nice Rice to bring a few more low tiers, so he can push up the walls with the Hastati, but this is the build he brought. A lot of Evocati, though, to be perfectly honest. So he still has a main punch-in force of just solid armies. My main killers, Sarmatian Royal Lancers, and there should be the Steppe Noble Lancers as well. While I have these Steppe Lancers here to work as a frontline shock cavalry. Weird thing to hear, because Enora's here. His lowest tier is the Armored Lancers, which are more expensive. Starting the fire here as there's just a huge clump of enemies right here. Did I get any? No. Oh yeah, I initially started firing here and I moved over there. Enora's is trying with his Noblewoman, which is some of the best in the game, to deal with it. Yeah, see, look at this. Look at what Egypt's done here. Will say, my faction's best units are kind of some of their melee cavalry. I didn't bring any of them. Yeah, they're running off the wall as fast as possible. They're already losing some. Yeah. That one, yeah, he pretty much lost a whole Nubian bowman. He's about to lose another one as these guys run off. Yeah. And those Cretans have lost some men as well. So pretty big hit onto those archers immediately. Down to 15. And the cavalry keeps moving up. This is where I refocus my fire over here, as you can see. Basically trying to aim here with the auto fire and hopefully getting some bounce offs into the enemy infantry as well. Horde of Egyptians and Carians coming on in. Interest in army, and a lot of hillmen for Seleucid. Some thorax mixed around, but mostly hillmen that we can see. First of the cavalry has moved up. We didn't notice these caltrops initially, and you'll see that. I'll run a unit into there and they'll get fucking wrecked. Caltrops are a pain. Sarmatians pushing these Egyptians back. Basically have Egyptian infantry here. As you can see, just hitting a few on this batch. Already got 33 kills. And to be honest, I'm running low on ammo, so I'm getting a little worried if I don't keep hitting. Which I don't there. And now the cavalry leading the way in. They're going to take the initial fire, sacrificing these two units of cavalry so the infantry can run in without issue, as well as these armored lancers, which are better. And as you can see, just blasting right into the enemy with that. And you can see one of the caltrops, we broke through the center a bit. The cavalry continuing to flow, as you can see. Already up to 100 kills. Like, this is why we want this cavalry to go. We wanted my cavalry to go in first. And it did allow the Hastati to get the initial charge in without damage. Next unit, Hastati, I mean, they're also taking fire. The Principes are now safe. More cavalry just flowing on in and crushing. As you can see, just blasted right on through. Just blasting on through to here as well. Basically breaking that Hillman front line really well. More cavalry I have flowing in. Right into the center. Hoping to break this Hillman and push into that, yep, as you can see, deep into that Egyptian infantry. Trying to silence as much javelin fire as possible. Distract them so the infantry can continue to go in unabated. Ooh, skylight's right in my eyes. As you can see, the cavalry still flowing around right into that carrion. Those carrions are pretty much dead. Yeah. My cav continuing to take the fire. Honestly, as long as it's my cheaper cav that's taking the fire, I'm happy with it. Right on in again to more Egyptian infantry. Not a very good charge, but still getting some kills. And allowing his step armored lancers to flow is very, very important. We see the Seleucid general here, an Indian armored elephant. Egyptian archers getting there, so it'd be nice to get into there. As you can see, charging around with the step lancers, trying to get attacked and rear penalties, as well as knock the enemy down and do some extra casualties, force them down. Now we have another step armored lancer coming on in. And the caltrops are destroyed, so it is fully free for us to move in. And you can see he's flowing right into those carrions. Bulldozing into those carrions, trying to take them out as quickly as possible. You can see those numbers drop. Trying to get into those archers. He's moving his horse archers up because here comes the Indian armored elephant. Charging right on into the formation. Honestly, I don't know what he's thinking. These guys are ready to go. These Evocati, which I'm sure have ballistas. He's going to try to silence them here. Pretty decent move there. But fire shots going in. Going to try to force them to go berserk. But into that Evocati, so we might lose an Evocati, and losing any infantry units is a pretty big deal. I have an interesting strategy I have here. I've noticed that this position is open, so I'm having nice rice charge on in. And I'm going to flow around here and see if I can get into the back lines here. Elephants, though, they're berserk, still full health, 88 kills, 90, almost 100 kills, and they're about to breach 100 in a second. They're starting to lose numbers, but they did get to 100 kills. Honestly, they could be doing a much better job. Stepped armored lancers 176. He's just holding everything back. Don't know why the Cretans moved up. They did. All of his archers moved up. I don't think he had them on guard mode. He's pretty much losing all of his archers. Another stepped armored lancer coming into this flank to blast right into the side of all these boys. Kind of knock these boys down. How are these guys doing? 129. They are dropping now. Step lancers right into those Cretans. And right into those Egyptians. Basically breaking everything down. Then an army of Spartan units. Yeah, we haven't seen Sparta all game. Sparta, pretty good counter to us. If those spears were on the front line, we might have had a bit more trouble instead of the Hillmen. Yep, here comes another charge. Blasting right on in. And those carrions going down. With that, these step lancers are getting ready to just blitz. One going this way, one going down the middle. just to break through these lines. Yeah, these thorax are about to get wrecked. And as you can see, a bunch of their number are going to go down, and as they're getting up, the Evocati here are going to be able to knock a lot of them down. Over here, we're charging the Spartan youths that were not positioned properly, and as you can see, just crushing through them. Now, he does have Periokii Peltis on the wall, that is good. I will say, after that elephant died, Saluka did rage quit, so we are down one attacker already. These step lancers will pull back, so the next one can come on in and finish off the thorax. Look, they're recovering. And they're gone. And again, the Horde marches onward. You can see they are positioning themselves behind a lot of the stakes here. Don't know why Sparta sent so many up. That looks to be one of the weaker stake lines. But, yeah, everywhere else is like doubled up on stakes. Nice charge here. Just trying to damage the enemy, trying to hold them in place. Because they're not in shield wall. They haven't lost anything here, but we want to try to keep them in place and silence so Rome can get on in. I actually have lost a few. This should be the end of these Spartan youths here. Yeah, they just took that charge and they're going to be silenced. Basically, these steps are going to continue to flow this way. And then we have to find a way to get past all the stakes. As you can see, pull them back. So now that they've been weakened, right on in. These Evocati will tear through that thorax. That is 265 kills. Inora is flowing in initially. Going to break the enemy. Me going to finish it off. Alright. And then Inora's decided he needed to go get... He ordered a Frosty, so he decided he's going to go get his Frosty now. Because this match... it's going really well for us, to be perfectly honest. The balance of power was not looking very good for us at the beginning. Still not in our favor, but we're doing a pretty good job, I think. Evocati crushing here. And to be honest, they have no way off the walls. So, Evocati are going to have a field day. Over here, I'm sacrificing my weaker unit to go destroy the stakes. And actually, yeah, I lose a few, as you can see here. A lot less than I was expecting. I was expecting to lose like most of the unit, but only lost 3, and the stakes are going to be pretty much done. Yep. Did lose a few more. The stakes are broken. It's time to get into these Peltis. Now, we did bring Periokii Peltis, which is a very interesting thing, because they're actually pretty good at melee. So we do have to rely on the initial charge. And look at that, more stakes over there. Yeah. And as you can see, kind of like flowing through, trying to get the other unit in to break them. Trying to get this one in to make sure we keep the charge going and do as much damage as possible. As you can see, blasted here. These Periokias are pretty much dead. There are stakes here as well, but you got to just sacrifice some of your units sometimes to break them. But these thorax are moving. Blasted right into the side. And of course, these Spartan hoplites are now faced the other way. Yeah, 375 kills, 90. This is where I mean you gotta sacrifice some of your units. We're basically going to use this to break through the lines. Not a very good charge. Those Imperial guys can actually do a pretty good job. Yep, just blast right on through, lose a few of the step nobles. But that's important to get on around. He's trying to stay focused on me. Good number at the rails there. But they're going to try to get into formation before everything goes bad, and barely, but they just get run over. Now these guys are going to get shot. This one did break through, and they're going to continue to flow. Basically going to hit these slingers here. And actually do get a proper charge. I was worried it wouldn't. Crushing these. We have also by now had our second DC. So now we are down to one player over here. Rome is in. They are doing some damage. They did flow this way. Around. Armored Lancers going in. I've destroyed, as you can see, a decent amount of the stakes so we can flow on through. My nobles are going there at 309 kills at the end. Basically continuing to flow. I have my last unit of Lancers charged on the back of the Thorax here to help these guys break through and give us another avenue in. But these Heroes of Sparta did end up catching on Enoris and stopping him. Over here, this Evocati is doing some real work. Last of the Periokii are going, and I am rotating the rest of my Lancers over while few of them stay over here to aid. Yep, just going to fully break them. Yeah, we're just going to hit them on all sides, and bam, they're fully gone. This opening is fully there. Evocati coming along the road up here to try to stop these boys, and hopefully stop some of these Royal Peltas shots. Armored Lancers there. A lot of ammo being dumped into Armored Lancers, which is good for us. Realize, hey, that's a terrible idea. Pull back. See if I can get anywhere better. Over here, we have the last of the Royal Lancers moving around. I do have this Step Lancer that came back. Kind of more interested in moving some of the other units I've got. Basically trying to get through there, and with the formation attack, thanks to them moving over to the side, I was able to get through and blast. They're not the best one there. This is pretty much going to be the end of them, but trying to do as much damage as possible, keep them distracted. But the Horde moves in. This is where I'm going to sacrifice a few more, as you can see. But not too bad. Does mean there is just a few last stakes left. We're going to full surround this Spartan Hoplite and crush it. One of them right into this batch here. Doing what we can to break these units. Hopefully getting into the back and doing some real damage. I mean, Evocati hitting here, and of course cavalry into the rear. Poor boys. Those are some of those noble Lancers. Over here, as you can see, fully surrounding these boys. Get them back in. And blast. With that, broke a hole through them. Hopefully trying to kill them if we can. Yep, archers blowing back on the flank. And rotate is what we want. So they pull back, blasting here. Basically doing what we can to the thorax. Do cause a bit of a traffic jam. But Draco actually activated here, so now they're going to get their asses kicked. And with this cavalry flowing back in, one of them is going to hit them in the rear and finish them off, pretty much. Oh no, never mind. Double charge. I remember this battle. This wasn't a fever dream. Yeah, that thorax is pretty much gone, and it is shattered through, so we're just going to continue forward. As you can see, none of them were up. Over here, Step Armored Lancers doing what they can. We can't really break through that Hero of Sparta, so we are relying on Rome for that. General Scythian Royal Lancers coming on in. And this Spartan Hoplite is going to be pretty much gone. And of course, we're going to charge another charge. Yep, you can see, bam. Over here, we have a Ptolemaic Cav trying to do what they can. Double tapped. And that thorax is gone. Weakened Lancer coming on over. It moved over to the flank to hit those Thoreos while they're being charged. Look, there's a Step Lancer. It's back. They were in Hoplite Wall, so then, I mean, not much we could do to there. But gonna flow left, or flow right, I mean, like that. Because you can do that on this map. Just flow right on here. If you ever get into this position, this is navigable. Then you just rotate back around. As you can see here, rotating around to get into these slingers. And they surrender. Nice little quick battle. A lot going on. Rome definitely did a lot of carrying with us flanking behind. Honestly, they could have held us out of the walls a lot better than they did. What did the attackers do well? Coordination, because they needed it. Two-step nomad factions on attack is probably not the smartest. But hey, it happens. When you are fighting randoms, you want to try things. But what the attackers did poorly, I would have to say, after the initial break-in, there were just a lot of places that we could have exploited. We could have rotated fully around, basically used our mobility a bit better instead of the blunt force we were, but it worked out very well for us. What the defenders did poorly or well, defenders did well. That final defense, especially Sparta's, how Sparta handled the lines. His use were wasted, but his heroes and his better units were covering more. Now, to be honest, I'm pretty sure he's one of the ones who ended up, I think it was both of the, I think Sparta actually DC'd at that point, so that might be why, I don't know. But that's pretty much it. On what they did poorly, honestly, that first defense, they should have committed a bit more to that defense. Could have stopped us pretty well. They had better units in the front instead of just hillmen, Egyptian infantry, and Carians. If Sparta was there, I don't think we would have won. Sparta was there on that initial defense, we would have lost that 100% of the time. But let's see the army comps. Inoris here with Royal Scythia. Scythian Noblewoman 119. Step Armored Lancers 234, 204, 135, 121, and a lot of healthy units left. Over here, Nice Rice, Auxiliary Syrians 104, Evocati 205, 244, 354, 143, 380, 250, just insane value, and 155 for that Principe there. Me, playing Roxolani, Sarmatian Royal Lancers 161, 123, one of my Step Lancers, 149. And then my Noble Lancers, 264, 384, 309. I took more of the brunt of the charge, leaving Inoris with a lot of his elites left, in case we needed that late game help. And that is the melee cav variant. That's what has Draco, by the way. A lot of the melee cav have Draco. So that's something to note. If you are playing a Step faction, bring a few units of melee cav, have them rotate Draco around. I just wanted all shock cavalry because I thought that would make Nice Rice blow his brains out more. And he decided that he immediately wanted to stop playing with us and decided to play Arno instead. He was like, I'm done with this shit. I asked Inoris and Charlie to play and they gave me this shit. I'm playing another game. But Egypt here, brought to us by Bobby Baby. 132 in that Mercenary Creeding. Good job there. 137, 120 on those carrions. Excellent job. 100 there on the thorax. Derek here, 152 on the Indian Armored Elephants. He pushed that in a little too. If he wanted to use it early, he pushed it in a little too late. If he wanted to keep them safe, he pushed them in way too early. So he kind of got it in that bad time between the two that kind of screwed him over. Honestly, nothing else did well for him. Finally, Sparta. To be honest, yeah, Sparta was out of position most of the game, though at the end he was helpful. Like, there's two pikemen that we didn't see at all. Let's put it that way. 103rd, 22 for that hero of Sparta. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I just thought, hey, you know what? Something a little random that we fought in. A little quick battle to throw it, some spice into Sunday as we did lose Armored starting a cult. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments how you would counter a double step build. I have some idea. Well, I have a lot of ideas. And where you think and who you think is most responsible for the defender's loss. I hope you have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.